Oh, my good friends and neighbors and my fellow brothers and sisters in Christ. I pray that y'all's having a wonderful and awesome day today. And I'd like to welcome you all to our YouTube channel. I ask y'all, if y'all haven't done so already, ask y'all to give us a thumbs up, subscribe to it, and share us around. But we'll be sharing a dream with you, vision, or a trance, whichever one it was. I can't exactly know for sure which one it was. I just know what I seen and saw and what was shown to me. And this happened yesterday, March the 20th of this year of 2022. But whether it's a dream, vision, trance, uh, I'll let you all decide. But uh, feel free to give your all thoughts and opinions on this, what I'm about to tell you. But here's what I seen and saw. It was like I was standing in this desolate place, wasn't nothing around. I mean, it looked like I was standing out in the middle of the desert. And then I could hear like footsteps. Even though I didn't see anything at the time, I could hear like footsteps. And well, I got to looking around and I could see far off at a distance this figure of a man coming. I never could throughout this whole thing while I was seeing this all, I never could see his face. Uh, but even though he was out at a far distance, I could hear him coming. I could hear every footstep he was making. And then as I kept on looking, as he got a little bit closer, I could see that he had a staff in his right hand, a staff or rod in his right hand. And I could also hear that every time he picked it up and placed it down on the ground. I could hear his footsteps coming, and I could hear the sound from the staff that every time it was picked up and placed on the ground. Uh, and in his left hand and arm, I noticed that he was holding and carrying a lamb. And he was holding it real close to his chest or to his bosom. And he kept on getting closer and closer. And like I said, even though he was a distance off, I could hear every footstep. And every time he picked up that staff and placed it upon the ground as he was walking toward me, he kept on walking, getting closer to me. And he stopped right up in front of me, probably approximately 5 to 6 feet in front of me. And again, throughout this whole thing, I never could see his face, but I was more or less focused on that lamb. And that, like that lamb kept on looking and was focused upon me at all times. And I noticed this figure of a man. His garment was like a beige or a tan color and looked like it had dirt all over it. And it come down just a little bit below his knees. I could tell his legs. He'd been traveling from a good distance or for a good while because he had dust upon his legs and upon that garment. But the other piece of garment kind of overlapped uh, the beige or tan garment. And it didn't look like it had a speck of, of dust or dirt on it. And it was the brightest color of red that I've ever seen. And it was pure clean. And he had it over him like this and kind of drenched it. It something reminded me of like a prayer shawl or a sash. And it was bright, pure red. And again, he was holding that lamb close to his bosom and holding the staff in his right hand and the lamb close to his bosom. He had on a beige or tan garment, come just a little bit below his knees. And I could tell he's been traveling for a good while. Even though I couldn't see his face throughout this whole thing, I was more or less focused on that lamb. As I continued to watch this lamb, um, it bayed out. It cried out. And when it did that, I heard a commotion behind me. And it sounded like it sounded like people, and then I could hear their footsteps coming. And as I turned roundabout and looked at a distance, there was like a hill, and it was also desolate. But there's a great large multitude of people both male, female, and children, um, coming up over the hill and coming down the hill about where me and that man and figure was standing there was coming to us. And it was a great large number of people. And I could hear their footsteps, even though they was a distance. I could hear them. They was getting closer and closer and closer. And as I continued standing there watching this great multitude of people coming to us, I heard the lamb cry out again. That made the second time it cried out. Well, I turned back round about and was focusing on the lamb again. Again, never could ever see the man's face. I could see the staff. I could see his garment. I could, the beige tan garment that was dusty, but I could also see that red sash up over it, and it was bright, pure red, and it was clean. And this lamb was just as white as can be, and it was clean. Didn't have a bit of blemish on it. No spots at all. It was just pure white lamb. And but after it cried out the second time, I turned back around from watching the crowd coming or the multitude of people coming, and I started focusing on the lamb again. And then as I was standing there watching upon the lamb, it was looking right straight into my eye. And then it bayed and cried out the third time. And then once it did that, well then the dream, vision, or trance I was in, it ended. But I also noticed that from the beginning of the time of what I seen to the end of it, there was this breeze that was flowing and circling about. And throughout that whole entire scene, from beginning to end, it was blowing and circling about. But the breeze, it wasn't cool or cold, and it wasn't hot. It was a warm comfort feeling, a warm comfort breeze that was circling about and blowing in my face and around my body. It was like it was energized something. I could feel it. I mean, this is how real it was. And but I just wanted to share this with you all. And feel free to contact us. Let us know what you think about it. It kind of reminds me of the song, The Coming of the Lord. Uh, I know in Revelations it speaks of the Lamb, somebody else seeing a lamb. And also reminds me of like Adam and Eve, when they went and hid themselves, it says, they could hear the Lord coming. Well, that's, even though I wasn't in there hiding, trying to hide or nothing, even though he was at a far distance, I could hear him coming from a very far off, every footstep he made. And every time he picked up that staff and placed it on the ground, I could hear it until he got up right to me. And this lamb, it cried out 3 times. The breeze I felt, multitude of people. But yeah, feel free to contact us. Let us know what you think about it. Give us your thoughts and opinions of it and discuss it with one another. And I'm thankful for the good Lord, Him showing me this where I'm able to share it with you all. I honestly believe we're in very short times, and He's trying to get people's attentions to wake up. For a lot, all the signs are here, but people's failing to see them. But I want to say thank you all for watching, and again, if you haven't done so already, subscribe to our YouTube channel and share us around. We'll also be adding uh, Bible scriptures and teachings and messages also onto here, as well as the dreams and visions that He shows us. And I want to say God bless to y'all and y'all's families. And if you need to contact us, you can contact us through here. We're also on Facebook and Twitter, and you can also email me at info.mitchsmithbiblestudies@gmail.com. And again, remember to pray and pray daily and give the good Lord uh, praise and glory He so rightly deserves, and give thanks for Jesus Christ of what and the burdens He went through and what He did upon the cross for us and the shed of His blood. But again, I want to say thank y'all for watching, and be safe, and God bless to y'all and y'all's families, and Lord willing, until next time.